Hello and welcome to the Chris Berkman Experience. I'm so excited to have blogger and author here, single woman, Mandy Hale.
Yes.
I'm so excited. We've been trying to get this together for a long time.
Yeah.
So just talk to me about your year. I mean, how was your New Year's?
It was good. Actually, I usually just hang out with my family on New Year's Eve. So that's how I welcomed 2014 this year. And I think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
I just feel like 2014 is going to be kind of a year of completion, and just a lot of things are going to really start to come together for everybody, not just me. So.
Yeah, well, 2013 was a huge year. I mean, you had the success of your book,
Right.
which came out in
August. Beginning of August.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about that process, just even writing it and even coming out with it.
Yeah, well, book one was really, called The Single Woman, Life, Love, and a Dash of Sass. And it was really sort of a culmination of blogs I had written in the past. I was able to pull from material that I'd already written, and then I was able to kind of supplement where there was new material needed. And it really was just meant to be sort of a broad look at single life and just all the areas that I feel like single women in their 20s and beyond struggle with. And so it was really just such a joy to put together and to put out there. You never know when you're a first-time author what's going to happen, but the response has just been overwhelming, and the emails I've gotten from women telling me how it's just completely changed their perception on single life. It's just been such a blessing.
Yeah, and it's such a niche, it's such a special kind of thing to be drawn to people, because there are so many single people in the world,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the percentages, but I know there's a lot of, there's probably more single people than married people now. And so I feel like the more that, pop culture sort of portrays single life as this negative thing and this, women clawing and fighting each other for one man and, or just all this overly dramatic, crazy stuff. I think the more that's the way that single life is portrayed, the more that people are sort of flocking to the positive look at single life. And that's really what I've tried to do. Just give women and men, for that matter, a reason to say, you know what, you're single, but that's okay. And you are obviously very brave, and you're unwilling to settle in your life in any area, and just, be happy and be excited and be proud of that. Don't walk around with your head hanging in shame. So yeah, I think women and men have really connected to that message.
Yeah, and that's what's so special, is because you were drawn to the women, but in this process you even gotten some men following you.
Yeah, it's been it's been a little wild, because I do get a lot of messages from men, and occasionally I'll get messages of men trying to hit on me, or I get messages from men that are not so nice. But overall, it's just been such an amazing thing. Like, a guy sent me a picture of himself in front of the Christmas tree. It was this very, very rugged man.
Burly.
I mean, he wasn't like he just looked very like a man's man. And he's holding my picture, or my book in the picture, and he has the book with a pink stiletto on the cover, and he's like, I asked for your book for Christmas. And I was like, that's just hilarious. And I admire men who will go into a bookstore or hold up a book with a pink stiletto on the cover and say, this book is so great. It's been amazing to see.
Yeah, and that's funny, because I was even going to bring up the point, because he was in front of the tree taking a photo. You had a promotion campaign of people taking photos of your book in certain places.
Well, that turned out that was just an idea of mine that I just came up with as a fluke, and really, honestly, for selfish reasons, that I wanted to see my book in all these different locations. So I said, hey, if you're somewhere cool, or wherever you live, if you'll snap a picture of yourself holding the book, or the book in front of wherever. So I actually ended up getting a picture of the book in front of the White House, in front of Freedom Tower in New York City, in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I saw that.
So and then one person went and actually snapped a picture of my book in front of Carrie Bradshaw's apartment in New York City, where they filmed the show Sex and the City. And so yeah, that was really just kind of one of those things that I put out there, and then everybody who's seen it has been like, this is so cool, this is such a great marketing strategy. And I'm like, I just wanted to see pictures of my book in front of all these cool places. So, and I think when women are able to kind of see like all the other women in all these different places, it just gives them a sense of camaraderie. And I feel like that singleness can be very isolating, and it can make you feel like sometimes you're just walking through the world all alone. And so I feel like this book, and hopefully my message in general, has just given women and men the feeling that, you know, single people, that they're not in this alone, and that they have friends, and that they have people on the journey with them, and that we're all in this thing together.
Yes, and it's making impact because you have memes and quotes out all over online.
Yeah.
And one when we really first connected was Brian Seacrest had quoted you, which was
Yeah,
huge.
you pointed it out to me.
I did. It was crazy.
And I remember you posting that on my wall, and I literally almost fell out of my chair. I was like, okay, a lot of really exciting people have quoted me, but I mean, Ryan Seacrest, he's like the rare Hollywood unicorn. And so I just, yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so when I see my quotes, you know, I just recently finally set up a Pinterest account.
That's great.
And, you know, I just was searching inspirational quotes, and the first page I came across like 6 or 7 of my own. And then I've seen people who have dedicated entire Pinterest pages to Mandy Hale quotes, and I'm like, this is insane. So it's been, you know, I honestly just have been completely blown away by it. It's been incredible.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of the Pinterest, I put one of your quotes on mine, and I mean, it's gotten over 200 repins, which is crazy. So when you said you didn't have a Pinterest, I thought you really need to get one.
Yeah, well, I always reserved, you know, early on I reserved the names on Tumblr and Pinterest and all, the single woman, but I just had never done anything with it. So I finally logged in. I was like, hey, this is cool, and I have like 2,000 followers, and I've never even done anything. But yeah, I can definitely see how Pinterest can be very, very addicting, and all the fun stuff that's out there. It's just, wow, social media just amazes me.
It does, and I mean, you are social media queen. I mean, in ranking, I saw a posting that said in Nashville, the top 10, you were 8. Is that correct?
I think it's number 8.
Amazing, because Carrie Underwood was number 1.
Yeah.
So to be on that list, that's a big deal.
Yeah, definitely in very good company, and I didn't even, again, that's one of those things that I didn't even know that it was going to be in. It was the Nashville Business Journal, and somebody sent me a link and said, hey, you're on this list. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's amazing how social media just really helps connect the dots, and it just, you know, as you've learned with what you're doing, it just helps you have this whole opportunity to be able to, you know, market what you're passionate about and share with people your dreams, and it just, I don't know, I just think it's such an amazing world.
It is, and you know, we're finding out that we each have the ability in Twitter, Facebook, and you know, any social media outlet that we can impact greater than we think, because a share, a like, a comment can stem so many more people. You know, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like that people are really hungry for positivity.